crowd at that rally are dead.
Take a look at what happened.
Several shots rang out just before 6:30 last night as Trump was speaking at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. The former president reached immediately for his right ear before Secret Service personnel rushed to shield Trump. There was some blood on the former president's face as he was escorted off the stage.
5 shots, 6 shots, kind of hard to count them all. Firecrackers, basically, because of the 4th of July. But then as I seen the people moving, like, ants retreating.
I believe the SWAT team, showed up relatively quickly. They jumped to the side. There was a fence, it was next to the bleachers. They jumped the bleachers and started clearing the bleachers.
In a statement posted on Truth Social this morning, Trump says, "In this moment, it is more important than ever that we stand united and show our true character as Americans." He also says he looks forward to speaking to our great nation this week from Wisconsin. Trump was checked out at a nearby hospital and then released. And just before 1 o'clock this morning, the Trump campaign posted this video of the former president stepping off of his plane in Newark. He is now at his home in Bedminster, New Jersey. Reaction continues to come in this morning after the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump, and the NYPD presence really been ramping up at areas all across the city, including out over at Trump Tower in Midtown. That's where we find our Norlene Kawaja now with more on Norlene.
Yeah, Rocco, there's an increased police presence at sites like Trump Tower in the aftermath of the attempted assassination, and this out of an abundance of caution because there are no specific threats that have been cited. And here in the city, reactions been pouring in from local, state, and federal representatives. So it really seems like politicians are putting on a united front to condemn political violence, including Mayor Adams. In a statement, the mayor saying no one should be the victim of gun violence, no one. Today in Pennsylvania, we witnessed once again the danger of guns in the hands of violent extremists. We must do better for all Americans. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer also weighing in saying, "I am horrified by what happened at the Trump rally in Pennsylvania and relieved that former President Trump is safe. Political violence has no place in our country." House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries saying, "My thoughts and prayers are with former President Trump. I'm thankful for the decisive law enforcement response. America is a democracy. Political violence of any kind is never acceptable." And Governor Hochul says, "Any violence against a fellow American is disgusting and unacceptable. We must express political disagreements peacefully, civilly, and respectfully. I'm praying for the safety and health of former President Trump and all who are attending this event in Pennsylvania." Well, I've been speaking with New Yorkers today and also visitors to the city about how they're feeling. Let's take a listen.
Mind-boggling how something can take place in the United States now, this day and age, with the Secret Service, FBI, CIA, all the protection around a president, where someone can take a shot and try to actually kill him.
I think it's important that all politicians put their differences aside. To me, it's a universal issue that no politician should feel their lives at risk under any circumstance.
The FBI is a lead when it comes to this investigation, and politics aside, Rocco, really scary and chaotic incident for so many people, New Yorkers and Americans who may feel like, who believe that this is a threat to our democracy or it was an attack on our country.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Norlene, thank you so much. Political reporter Ayana Harry joins us now with more on what happened to former President Donald Trump yesterday. Safe to say this will make him even more defiant heading into the Republican convention, which starts tomorrow.
Rocco, former President Donald Trump was defiant immediately after the shooting. We saw him pumping his fist into the air, trying to rally supporters as he moved off of the stage. Donald Trump has said he will continue to move forward and attend the RNC, which is scheduled to begin in Milwaukee. And we expect his supporters to rally around him. We've been seeing it so far on social media, and we expect that to continue in person during the convention.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if this changes the campaigning at all, not just on Donald Trump's side, but also on President Biden's side.
Well, it has shifted the conversation a bit. In fact, we've seen calls for people to really call out and condemn political violence and to really shift the political tone right now, because there is a real concern that they don't want anyone else to be inspired by this. They don't want there to be a message sent to people that political violence is okay. So we are seeing both Republicans and Democrats united at this point in condemning political violence. And we know Joe Biden, he has scaled back some of his ads for the moment as he's sort of waiting for the situation to calm down, to cool down, and so that we can all move forward together. Folks, this is an investigation that's really being handled by the FBI as well as the Secret Service, and so we have to wait to see the outcome of that investigation to know more about who is this 20-year-old who they've identified as the shooter. What was his motive? What was he trying to accomplish? We just don't have any of those answers at this point. So it's really tough to say, what this was motivated by.
Of course, the motivation, also how did this happen, as well as anybody else, in terms of Secret Service protection for presidents and former presidents. A lot of people forget that Donald Trump has had Secret Service protection for many years.
Yes.
You've seen a little bit of that interaction between the Secret Service and the former president. You covered his trial, the hush money trial in Manhattan. Just curious on your thoughts about that relationship between the two sides there and their interactions.
I saw an extremely close relationship between Donald Trump and the Secret Service agents that were with him. Every time Donald Trump took a step, Secret Service agents were ahead of and right behind him. And they were extremely thoughtful in planning out and strategizing the ways in which they could protect him, not just in the courthouse, but even around the courthouse, moving in and out of the courthouse. I will note that Donald Trump's Secret Service detail was whittled down a bit after he left the White House because he's now a former president. He is no longer the president. And also want to mention the Secret Service, they work very closely with local law enforcement agencies. So here in New York City, we saw them working with the court officers in the NYPD. And I imagine for the rally yesterday in Pennsylvania, they were also closely coordinating with local police there. So I think that will be one of the questions is, because this happened outside of the perimeter, was this an area that the local police was securing, that the Secret Service was securing?
What that will be like there as well?
Yeah, the FBI had previously sent out an alert calling for a heightened awareness around the RNC. They were already expecting some protests. And so what we might perhaps see is that the perimeter is expanded even further to keep the public further away from all of the activities that are happening inside of the convention.
All right, Ayanna, always good to talk to you. Appreciate your time as always. And so